So I've gotten a lot of comments of you guys mentioning dairy. Some of you cut it out and ended up getting less acne on your skin. Some of you, it made no difference. Some of you mentioned how it might affect nutrient absorption. I also decided to go further into the research and see why this happens to people. And what I found was pretty surprising. I mean, dairy doesn't affect everyone the same, but there are some hormonal aspects that are important to mention and know about if you care about your skin, your testosterone, and your hormones. Let's go. Milk naturally contains a number of compounds. IGF-1, insulin growth factor, which will aid in your actual growth. And then there's also estrogens, animal estrogens, and they're actually in a ratio much higher than the androgens. Estrogen is more present in milk than testosterone. And then there's casein and whey. Now, when people talk about nutrient absorption being blunted as a result of consuming dairy, they're mentioning how casein and whey will bind to the actual nutrients like iron and actually cause you to not have as much iron and those kinds of things. The other thing is that for some people, whey protein can actually be inflammatory, which can also lead to more acne problems. And there's bioactive peptides that are actually nutrients. So consuming anything will give you some nutrients too. There's also downsides and there's upsides. Different forms of dairy will have different levels of these things. For example, like Swiss and ricotta, those kinds of cheese are actually not as bad for testosterone as other cheese might be. However, milk can actually be beneficial in terms of vitamin D, calcium, but also it can give you problems if you're prone to these things that I'm about to talk about. So IGF-1 can actually increase your keratin levels and also clog your pores. It will increase your sebum, which is like the oil of your skin, and with these clogged pores, increased sebum, it can, for some people, make them have acne. It's important to recognize that not everyone reacts the same. Personally, if I have dairy, I don't really get as much acne as if I got bad sleep or if I decided to have some kind of meal with seed oils that are inflammatory as well. I wouldn't have to worry about the blunted iron and antioxidant absorption. And by the way, if you do have to worry about that, if you do have low iron levels and things like that, and you may suspect the dairy, simply have iron-rich and antioxidant-rich foods at a different time than you consume your dairy. If you have like milk in the morning or something like that, then you can also have an iron-rich food later in the day. Skim milk might be worse than all whole milk, like all fat milk. This is because not only will they add more sugar to compensate for the flavor, fat also slows down digestion, meaning that you can actually digest it a little bit slower and then you won't have to worry about inflammation as much. Now, is consuming dairy the right thing for you? There's just a number of questions you can ask, like, are you in a cutting season? Are you trying to cut down your body fat percentage so that you can actually have more aesthetics or have less aromatase levels that convert testosterone into estradiol? It might be beneficial to cut out dairy from your diet and focus on getting your protein from things like meat and eggs. The other question is, do you have acne? If you have acne, you might benefit from actually cutting out dairy from your life. Just cut it out for about a week and then you'll be able to see the benefits. Now, if you don't have these problems and you are in a bulking season, let's say, you don't need to worry as much about putting on extra weight or putting on extra fat because of the estrogens and the actual growth factor or even the sebum production. If you do not have these problems, it is an easy source of calcium, vitamin D, protein, and you will benefit more from actually having dairy in your diet. Another benefit to consuming dairy that is actually little talked about is that milk does contain oxytocin. So if you're missing someone or if you want to feel safe, consuming milk can actually make you feel a little bit more safe and a little bit more calm. So does dairy mess with your hormones and cause acne? It depends on you. Now, I know that's kind of a weird answer, but truthfully, if you have acne right now, just cut out dairy, see what happens. If you don't have acne right now, continue having dairy and reap the benefits of extra protein, extra nutrients, easy liquid calories, and easy liquid protein. Like the video, bro. Check the link in the description.